Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I'm road testing the Murgatroyd's Benelli BN125 today. I thought that seeing as she'd now passed the CBT and I was going to be responsible for teaching her how to ride this machine, I'd better know precisely what it can and cannot do. So I've just done a bit of work. I've got a 12-mile journey home, or thereabouts. I rode the journey in reverse on the way to go and do the work, and really opened it up, pushed it to its absolute limits. How else are you going to find out what your bike can and cannot do? You've got to know where the limits are. So I've got to say, first impressions, it's a bundle of fun. I've not been riding 125s for 40 years or so, and I didn't really know what to expect. I'd been out for a little pootle around on this, but I hadn't actually pushed it. Yeah, I really am quite impressed. It's a little bit, after a big motorcycle, like riding a hairdryer. It certainly sounds a bit like a hairdryer, but nevertheless, given it is what it is and it isn't what it isn't, it's really a lot of fun. So, let's get riding. Stop recording. Ooh. You can hear the power. Not. I'm not making fun of it. For what it really is quite impressive. As I hope to show you just now. So this is quite a fast route, quite a fast road that I'm taking now. We meet up with the A595 before long, which is also quite a fast road, and I will show you what this can do and where its limitations lie. So, first observations, it's too bloody small for me. Now, I'm 6 foot tall, and I do feel, I've got to say, slightly cramped on this. My knees are a little bit too high, and my hands are a little bit too low, and I just don't feel like I've got enough room to relax. Nevertheless, if you were probably only a few inches shorter than me, you'd find it quite comfortable. I know the Murgatroyd does. The Murgatroyd is only about 3'7". Slight exaggeration there. So I'm in fourth gear here now. I'm in fourth gear, very comfortably doing 45-50 miles an hour. You can flip it into the bends, you can flip it out again. It actually handles surprisingly well for such a small bike, and it really does feel incredibly light. You kind of get the idea that if something went wrong with it and you couldn't fix it by the roadside, you could actually just throw it over your shoulder and carry it home. I'm sure that isn't true, but it does feel incredibly light. And the brakes are really quite effective. I was very pleasantly surprised by that one. I remember the first and last, in fact, small bike that I had, which was back in the 1980s. It was a Honda H100, and with that, if you wanted it to brake, you had to send it a memo. But these brakes are actually really quite sharp. The one thing I noticed on the way over this morning was that when you wanted to overtake, you've really got to consider carefully whether you've got enough power in the bank to make any given manoeuvre. But I did find myself having an overtake quite a few times, whereas on one of my bigger bikes I'd just be straight down here now, and this Hilux would be in my wing mirrors. In any event, it's a 30 now, so we'll ease off a little bit. So it's a gorgeous late summer afternoon in the Lake District. and we're about to be treated to the site of the Coniston Mountains just as we come round the corner here. The little village of Kirkby. The Murgatroyd was actually born here and grew up here. So we're in third gear now and we're just poodling along at 30 miles an hour. But there is the promise of more power, just not much more. So this guy's let me pass, thank you. Very kind. I don't think he realised how small a bike I was on. Another thing I noticed on the way over this morning. What is it with you people? People on big bikes refusing to wave or nod at me because I'm on a 125? Honestly, come on. We're all playing the same game, whether we've been doing it 6 months or 60 years. Less of the elitism. I even wave at moped riders and scooter riders. We're all playing the same game. So yeah, 52 miles an hour according to the clock. I don't think it's all that accurate. When I was going through that village we've just come through this morning, it was saying on the speedometer readout thing by the roadside that I was doing 28 when the clock said 32. So I think it's perhaps not that accurate. It's quite a simple, straightforward machine. Not a huge amount of technology on it. You've got some, what's it called, a TFT on the front here. Digital speedo, tells you what gear you're in. You've got a fuel gauge, and you've also got a rev counter and a trip counter, and all the usual stuff. So as you can see, I'm just gliding through these twists and curves, scarcely having to slow down for them. It really is nimble, very agile bike. And actually, given the fact that I'm thinking seriously about having a Benelli TRK next year, this is really quite a good advert for their engineering. It's certainly got everything you need in a 125. Little village of Grijsbeek here, and at the end of the road here we're going to turn left and start heading toward Millom on the A595. The mountains. yeah, that little sequence of twists and bends there was actually easier to ride on this than it is on my XVS 650. Oh, that one nodded. And then he goes, oh no, it was a 125 with L plates. It's kind of weird having the L plates on, but there was no point taking them off just for the one ride. But actually, I think I might use this a little bit for commuting. It's certainly less thirsty than the other two bikes. A little bit of acknowledgement there. So that's full throttle in top gear, 61 miles an hour is what it's saying. I have had it reading 75 going downhill, but I think that probably was more like 70. But you know, it is what it is, and it is not what it is not. I'd be perfectly happy with this as a first bike. So that's saying I'm doing 37.41, that said, and it said 45 on the clock. So yeah, a few miles an hour out. Maybe miles are a little bit shorter in China. It just occurred to me, I ought to go and do the hard knot pass on this, just for the shits and giggles. See if we get a wave off these guys. Almost borderline acknowledgement. If only they knew. I am the mighty Guru Yogurt. there's a steep downhill bit in a minute. We'll see if we can have an overtake here. Let's wait for a clear view at this bend. Oh no, there's a car coming. Nah, we can make that. No, we can't. And that's what I mean, you've really got to consider whether you've got the power to get past safely. I probably could have done that, but yeah, if in doubt, wait it out. And now we've probably got no chance of an overtake because it's all uphill from here. We'll have it anyway. But that doesn't count. So there's another one of these digital road speed measurement thingies coming up here. So I'm going to have another check of the speedo and how accurate it isn't. In fact, there's two of them, so we'll have a double check if it's working. 34, it says 39. So yeah, about 5 miles an hour out on the plus side at 34 miles an hour. That's assuming the road sign is accurate, of course. So there we go. This is a 2023 Benelli BN125. Looks good. Rides really, really well. Would I recommend it as a first bike? Abso-bleeding-lutely. It's a bundle of fun. As much power as you can expect from an 18 brake horsepower engine, and as much fun as you can expect from a 125 motorcycle. So there we go. Lovely ride. Glad you came with me. Thanks for watching.